If you watch this video until the end, your view of hardships and life's challenges will be completely changed, and for the better. There are certain laws in place that keep the universe in harmony, that keep it functioning. So without these laws, chaos would soon break out. Simple things like law of vibration, law of attraction, those things are real. Without these laws, the earth would turn into an incredibly ugly place. And the law of polarity is one of these laws, and it's an extremely important law that you need to fully understand so that you can use it to your advantage. I'm reading this from my computer. The law of polarity is a principle that everything has two poles, good and evil, love and hate, attraction and disconnection. Everything in the universe has its opposite. Nature is in complete harmony. Nature is completely balanced. So the fact that nature is balanced means that everything has its opposite. And these laws don't just apply to nature, it doesn't just apply to the overall currents or whatever in the world, or charges, negative and positive charges in a battery. It applies to your life as well, and it applies to every single situation in your life. So the important thing here is you have to look at it in a way that it benefits your life. So right now I want you to think about your problems, the tough situations that you're going through right now. In fact, it doesn't even have to be the tough situations you're going through right now. It can be things that happened in the past. I just want you to think about all the negative situations you've been in. Think about the biggest negative situations, the biggest hardships that you've had to endure. I want you to realize that the law of polarity applies to those hardships as well. I want you to realize that for every hardship, for every challenge, there is an equal amount of prosperity and growth that is available to you. For every negative situation, there is a positive situation that's waiting to be discovered. And people always say, look at the bright side. And that is something that is very true. You should always look at the bright side, because for every negative situation, there is a positive situation waiting to be discovered. Doesn't that excite you? This means that every hardship is an opportunity for growth. Every hardship is an opportunity to gain prosperity. And I've been thinking about the law of polarity so much recently. Because not right now, but recently I've been going through a hard time. I've just gotten out of a relationship. And I'm going to read you something that I wrote in my journal yesterday. There is the law of polarity in this world. For every positive, there's a negative. That's how the world remains in harmony. Without it, chaos would soon break out. So I know that a massive good will come out of this situation, but the good will only show itself in due time. I've lost the biggest earthly relationship I had. However, I will gain something equally big. I don't know what it will be, but I am grateful in advance for whatever it is. For every negative, there is an equal positive. And I want you to remember that last line, that for every negative, there is an equal positive. For every trauma that you've experienced, there is an equal strength that will come out of it. And I'll tell you another story. I grew up in a family where there was alcoholism.
TJ!
There were alcoholics in my family. And this happened at a very young age. In fact, an age where I couldn't really understand what was going on. And I'll tell you the truth. It produced a lot of trauma. And I certainly do still have scars from those days. I certainly do still think about those days. And it was extremely hard for an 8-year-old to go through that. Extremely hard. It was actually one of the toughest periods of my life. But the funny thing is that incredibly hard period provided me with something equally as good. And that was an understanding of alcohol from a young age, an understanding of what it can do and the dangers of alcohol. And because of this, I can literally count. I'm 19. I can count on my hands. I was about to say count on one hand, that may be a stretch, but I can count on my hands. I have 10 fingers. I can count on my fingers the number of times I've had alcohol. Because I had this experience when I was younger, because I saw what alcohol could do when I was younger, it pushed me not to drink. It pushed me to really understand the dark side of it. And because of that, throughout my teenage years, I avoided, those stories. People say, live while you're young, you only live once. I avoided many of those stories where you do stupid things, you get into an accident because you were drunk. And I'll avoid many of those things in the future. I will avoid many of the problems that come from being drunk, from having an addiction to alcohol. And this is all because I went through a hardship when I was younger. This is all because I had to suffer when I was younger. And another one, a much lighter one, is that when I was growing up, or not even when I was growing up, still now, my father has ridiculously high standards for me. And when I was younger, that was a pain because quite frankly, I never reached those standards. I was never able to get the 4A stars, never able to get whatever that he wanted me to get. But because he had high standards for me, it gave me the greatest gift, my own high standards. I have extremely high standards for myself, and this, quite frankly, I think is my greatest gift because it will never allow me to settle. So right now, I want you to realize that whatever you're going through, whatever negative situation you're going through, there is an equal positive to be found. But the catch is you can only find that positive when you are grateful for the negative. Good things only come to those that are grateful. And you may say that bad people, ungrateful people have good things. But is a thing really good if you can't appreciate it? Is a thing really good if you can't be grateful for it? Until you are grateful for the negative situation, until you are grateful for the trauma, you will forever be blinded to the positive that could come from that situation. So it's time that you be grateful for all the negative things that have happened. It's time that you be grateful for every single hardship, for every single time you're rejected, for every single time you felt embarrassed. It's time that you be grateful for everything in your life. And the way to cultivate this
TJ!
English. I was on a roll, but I guess turned into bread. Cringe fest. But anyways, the way to cultivate this gratitude skill, and gratitude is a skill, is to write 5 to 10 things that you're grateful for every single morning. And no, you can't write the same thing every day. Stop being stupid. Be creative. Write something different every day. It's fair. Do you know what? If you write the same thing every day, then stop watching the videos. Stop watching the videos because you are blessed with an incredibly clever brain. You are blessed with the best machine on this earth. And you're telling me that you have to write the same thing every day. You can't find another thing that you're grateful for. In fact, I'm going to read you the stupid things that I write. The random things that I write that I'm grateful for. Look at this. Yes, this morning I wrote, I'm grateful for the cold orange I had yesterday because it was very refreshing. Simply, what I did yesterday was very hot. It was 30 degrees Celsius. So I just took an orange, put it in the freezer. 2 hours later, I had a slushy orange. It was icy and orange. That thing was amazing. I might have another one. But anyways, you have to be grateful and you have to cultivate the gratitude skill to be grateful for the negative situations. And then once you do that, you will be able to experience, you will be able to receive the positive from your hardships. Marcus Aurelius said that the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. So that negative situation that you're experiencing, that is an obstacle. Being grateful for that obstacle, being grateful for that situation, is tackling it. And through tackling it, you will find the positive. You will find the growth that is meant to come from that situation.